robots are coming. The robots are coming. Didn't you hear? The robots are coming. From Luddites to sci-fi, human beings have always had a love-hate relationship with technology. We've always been enthusiastic about it. We've always been scared of it. The term Luddite refers to someone who opposes technological advancement, but that's not actually what it was about. It was a 19th century, what we would now call the labor movement. When technology was being introduced into the textile industry, these people were trying to get a good deal from their employers so that the technology would not make their working conditions worse than they already were. It didn't end up well for them. The British government basically decided to suppress them rather brutally. When I was a child, a long time ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth, technology was going to destroy us all. The Cold War was at its peak. We had duck and cover drills where we practiced diving under our school desks in case of nuclear attack. This was going to happen. People were building bomb shelters in their basements. We had designated areas of buildings to go hide out in when missiles started flying. But at the same time, technology was going to save us. The machines were going to take over all the dangerous and tedious work. We weren't going to have to toil away like we've been doing through our entire history of human beings. Everyone would have access to every skill and every bit of knowledge ever devised by humanity. And all those imperfections and failures in manufactured goods, well, the robots were going to take care of all of that because they were going to be perfect. How's that work out? When it comes to fearing technology, most people fear military technology the most. George Orwell, back in 1945, used the term Cold War in an essay that he wrote about omnipotent governments that were constantly in a state of nuclear-tipped standoff. Humans lose control of their weaponry in countless movies. 1964's Failsafe, a computer error, results in the US destroying Moscow. And in order to avoid World War III, we have to sacrifice New York City. Seems like a pretty good deal. A supercomputer called Colossus in a movie called The Forbin Project ganged up with a counterpart computer in the Soviet Union and decided that since the mission of these computers was to prevent war, well, humans caused war, therefore humans can't be trusted, the computers have to take over. This theme was revisited in the Terminator series with a slightly different outcome. Skynet decided that humans caused war and therefore needed to be exterminated as opposed to control. The sci-fi universe tried to address some of these risks with Isaac Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics. Well, we saw how well that worked out in the film I, Robot, when the first law of robotics was perverted again into the idea that humans had to be controlled because they couldn't be trusted. But is this all just media hype? Not really. In 1961, for real, several NORAD communication links went out simultaneously. These were engineered to be fault-tolerant, redundant, so the only way that they could conceive that all of these links would fail at the same time was as a result of a massive attack. It nearly triggered a counterstrike, when in fact, it was a single point of failure in the network in Colorado, which had failed. In 1979, someone loaded a training scenario into a NORAD operational computer. This triggered an alert because, of course, the training scenario was for an attack, and the operational computer duly reported that it was registering an attack. It nearly triggered a counterstrike, but it didn't. In 1983, a Soviet lieutenant general by the name of Stanislav Petrov received a missile warning saying that the Americans had launched. He disobeyed the warning, disobeyed his own instructions and training, disobeyed his chain of command, and in so doing, prevented World War III. It's rumored that in 1999, on the eve of Y2K, American and Russian military visited each other's command centers so that if the computers burnt, each side would have a known friendly on the other side to confirm or deny an attack. This stuff is real, and so far we've been okay. But nowadays, the concerns are turning to commercial problems. Robots taking over manufacturing jobs, algorithms that decide credit and employment and things like that. Unfettered data collection and the loss of privacy and the unintended consequences of that. Misinformation, disinformation that's displacing the truth from our public discourse. And the loss of skill and attention and relationships that comes from our digitally distracted universe. Folks, the robots are here, and we have to figure out how to live with them. And we have to do it pretty darn soon. We have to recognize that these fantastic pieces of hardware and software are nothing more than sophisticated instruments, and we need to treat them accordingly. Ask yourself, who benefits? When you use those free internet services, who's benefiting besides you? Because someone is. I want you to remember this acronym, Hanstoffel. Never heard it before? It means there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Someone's paying. And if it's not you, it may be you anyway. Remember that humans are still humans. We still play the same games with each other. We still have the same good, the same evil tendencies. We just express them differently using our technology. So insist on human accountability. Don't accept what the computers and the machines tell you at face value. Always bring it back to the human beings who still, for the moment, run this planet. And remember, you know where the power switch is. Mr. Toastmasters.